It's all about fishing. It's all about hunting. It's all about the great outdoors. And it's all about outdoors with Captain Roy and Cheryl.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Bear Creek Lodge. I'm Captain Roy.
And I'm Cheryl Little, and we're at the Bear Creek Lodge today.
And we've got a good show lined up I think you are going to enjoy. And the first thing I want to do is we've got a fishing report finally from Guy
Jody Wells
over there in Lake Seminole.
Yeah.
And I took it by phone. I'll try to read. You couldn't read my writing, Cheryl. I can't after it gets cold. I'll have time reading it. It says bass, they had a bass tournament up on Lake Seminole this past weekend, and the wind was blowing 35 miles per hour. Boy, I wouldn't want to have been on that lake blowing 35 miles an hour. And he said the winning weight, though, was 27 pounds. Now, that's 5 fish. That's about 5.5 pound average on those bass. And he said the bass are bedding. He said all the locals up here hate it when they have a bass tournament here on the lake because the bass fishermen own the lake and the rest of us have to stay home. Sorry, Jody, that's just the way it is. And I sort of agree with it. I hate being down there brim fishing during a bass tournament. They run 70, 80 miles an hour on them boats. But he said that the crappie bite is getting better, and better. It's really crappie time to catch the crappie. He said, folks, give me a call and let's go fishing. And you just call Guy Jody Wells if you want a good fishing trip on Lake Seminole.
And we got a picture to show.
Yeah, we got a picture to show.
And a letter with it. This was from Mitch Bush, and Mitch said this buck was killed in Washington County. He said that when he was a young boy, about 13 years old, my dad, Glenn Bush, and I dog hunted with Captain Roy at Point Washington in the 70s. The main thing that I remember was that all the bucks that Captain Roy killed. I guess you could say I considered him as my idol. Now that I'm older, I enjoy watching his show every chance I get. And that's from Mitch Bush. That's a neat letter.
Did you give the weight?
Did he have it on there?
Yeah,
Let's
up here at
see.
the top.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, gross weight is 120 pounds. Net weight 119.
No, now let me see now. That 8 point he scored.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about deer.
Scored 120.78. That's a fine buck. And congratulations, Mitch. And don't use me as an idol. Use him. And
we got Ronnie Groom with us.
Yeah, we're going to take a break and come back, and we're going to go do a little bit of hunting. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Nate with Mexico Beach Marina, formerly Marquardt's Marina here in beautiful Mexico Beach. Remember, we're a key dealer for Yamaha outboards as well as a 5-star certified service department and are proud now to be a new dealer for Edgewater powerboats. Our marina store still offers all your latest tackle, live bait, bulk ice, ethanol-free fuel, and slip rentals. And our beach store has everything you need for your day at the beach with Guy Harvey, Salt Life, Sperry, Topsider, Hook and Tackle, Bimini Bay, and much more. So come on down and see us in Mexico Beach.
I tell you what I like about Coram. I like the food, I like the price, I like the quality, I like the quantity of it. But what I like most about Coram Steak and Eggs is I like that friendly atmosphere that I always find when I'm down out there. It's owned and operated by Linda and Willie Coram. They are the original, and they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and their breakfast out of this world. And my favorite is the world famous Coram Heavenly Hash. Coram Steak and Eggs, 804 South Tyndall Parkway.
Panama City living is simply better without glasses. The Eye Center of North Florida offers the most advanced surgeries, including lifestyle lens implants for cataract patients and custom view blade-free LASIK. Both procedures leave you with clear vision, and in most cases, glasses-free. The Eye Center of North Florida.
9 doctors, 1 When you think of a successful hunting season, two things come to mind: Browning and C&G Sporting Goods. Browning is the best there is, and C&G Sporting Goods is your factory direct, full-line Browning dealer. C&G stocks Browning guns, camo, knives, scopes, gun safes, bows, and much more, including hunting and fishing license. Look over the new Browning BAR camo short right and X-Bolt rifles. Why pay good money for anything less than a Browning? Browning and C&G, the best there is. Home of the experts.
Ronnie Groom, it's good
Morning,
to have
buddy.
you.
How you doing?
Good. Good to have
see
you
you this morning.
Good to have you aboard this morning. Ronnie, we showed this deer picture of Mitch Bush. I want you to look at that and see if you see his dad in his
Oh,
face.
that looks just like it. I tell you, that's amazing.
And
That's a fine deer too. I'm gonna tell you, that's a big deer.
yeah, it's a good deer. And now, as we told you at the beginning of the show, he credits his dad when he was a young fella. He took him hunting in the woods, and it bred over into Mitch. Now he is enjoying it, and he can introduce his family to the woods, and that's important to me, Ronnie, because as you know, there's a hassle every year. There's a lot of people that would like to see the deer hunting season just not exist. Nobody own a firearm, and if all the younger generation turns out not to be woodsmen, you know the future of the outdoors is kind of dim to me.
You know, parents owe it to their kids, even if they don't hunt. And I'm a big proponent of hunting. I think it's great. They always take my kids, and they still hunt. But we need to get the youngsters outside, even if you don't hunt, just to go out in the woods and see what's going on. People don't, you read and see a bunch of this stuff on television. It's not true. You need to get out there and find out what's really going on out in the woods and how nature works. And, it's not all really nice. Sometimes nature is very cruel. But that's the way it is, to keep the balance and the population in line.
Yeah.
And we as hunters have a big role to play in that. And we need to be out there, and we need to take these kids, and we need to educate them. We need to be careful, show them the good things, and teach them. You need to know what poison ivy looks like, and you need to know snakes and which ones are poisonous and which ones not. There's just so much you can teach a youngster out there, and they will love it. I can tell you, my kids just love it. They spend most of their time outside now. They got a four-wheeler, and they ride it around, and they just have a ball out there.
Ronnie, if it wasn't, the hunters contribute more than anybody else to the wildlife that we have that they are able to enjoy. Through conservation. And of course,
right.
we know that all the animals have to be. The property will only hold so many animals.
Right.
They're starved to death, so they have to be harvested and doing it in a kind of educated way. A good example of that are the raccoons. Now, trapping season, you can't steel trap anymore, and when you get an overpopulation, you know what happens.
We got rabies now in
Right.
Bay County.
And so, take your kids out there and again, Ronnie, and let them enjoy it. If you go take them deer hunting or turkey hunting, don't burn them out to start with.
Right. It's got to be a pleasant experience. Don't take them if it's extremely cold, Just take them so they can have a good time, have a picnic, throw a few rocks in the creek, and just have a good time. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And
the kids will never forget it. When they're grown, they'll remember the days they spent with their dad and mother out in the woods. And women are really enjoying this too. It's not just the man. Women can get out there and enjoy it. My son's wife killed a nice buck this year, and she's really hooked on it, and she's going to be a hunter from now on, and it's a great thing for the whole family goes.
If kids get interested in the outdoors, it may take their mind off of some of the things that are not good for them.
There's a saying, if you take your kids hunting, you won't have to hunt your kids.
That's true. Very good. Well, Ronnie, tomorrow black powder season ends, and that's the end of deer season for a while.
Yeah, we've had a really a slow year this year in deer hunting. The weather's been so crazy, and we've had just the largest crop of acorns I've ever seen, and that's a factor. And we haven't had a hunting season that was up to par with the last few years, but You know, some people complain. I say, hey, but look at next year. We're going to have a bumper crop next year because we didn't get them this year. So, you know, our deer contest is down with entries, but there's been some really fine deer killed, like the one you showed the picture of here. And right at the end of the season, it seemed like it really got good, and it was some really good deer kill.
I told Kenny Ray, I think we ought to wait till January to even start hunting. Ronnie, I went to mid-January before I saw a deer with horns. And what I'm seeing now, again, are young bucks, and I hope they make it through the season. Folks, this deer that Mitch killed is a good example of what happens when you let these young deer walk. And I don't know, I'm for the 6-point law, and I'm going to try my best to get it up again. We've got to take a break. We'll be right back.
I remember those days. Don't let the price of gas keep you off the water. Sunjammer Water Sports, located 1 block north of Back Beach Road on Highway 79.
What's more important in a side-by-side RTV? Is it speed and agility, or is it versatility and dependability? When getting out of the woods is more important than getting into the woods, there is only one name to remember: Kubota. With true commercial-grade construction in the chassis and drivetrain, Kubota gives you the dependability, power, and torque you need to get the job done. Kubota builds work tools, not play toys.
DOA Lures, the unfair advantage. Mark Nichols molded the world's first plastic shrimp at his kitchen table in 1989. Today, DOA Lures offers 4 sizes of shrimp in 54 colors, along with a complete line of lures for both inshore and offshore use, as well as freshwater.
And what I like the most about DOA Lures, they are American-made.
DOA Lures available at your local tackle retailer or go online at doalures.com.
Ronnie, deer season goes out tomorrow, as we said, and but coming in now is spring gobbler season. That'll be the next one, right?
You know, I'm excited about that, and I've got some grandkids that are really excited about it now. I tell you, they're 12 and 15, and man, they're ready to go.
And you know, the turkeys have really made a comeback.
And you know, this dry weather we had, this drought we had was bad. The drought was, but it was good for turkeys.
It must
and
have
they
been.
had a good raise, because I'm seeing more turkeys this year than I've seen in several years.
So folks, y'all don't have to hunt up there next to my property line. I've got some turkeys on there, but I see them all the way. I go up right up by the side of Econfiner Creek, and I see turkeys all the way to my land, running across the road or standing. And they're not so wild right now, but that'll change when you go to
Yes,
messing with them.
You know, animals have a way of knowing when you're an aggressor, if you're just there casually. They can pick it up, and buddy, once they realize there's a hunting pressure on them, they really wise up.
It changes them, and I have heard a couple of gobbles
Oh
already.
yeah, my son heard one the other day gobble 15 times. You know, this warm weather's really had them tuned in.
Ronnie, I wish we had time to start out. I was going to ask you a question and let you answer, but we don't have time for that. If I had never been turkey gobbler hunting, tell me what I need to do to get started, but that will take an hour. Can I answer that? First of all, you need to go with somebody that has.
Right, get a little experience there. But the main thing people need to realize is turkey hunting is not complicated. They think, well, I got to learn all these calls. That's not, the calling is really not the important part. The important part of turkey hunting is knowing the terrain, know where the turkeys are, and if they don't come to you, you need to know where they're going so you can get ahead of them. That's the main thing. Calling is a minor part of it.
Yeah, I think to me, Ronnie, that, I think you agree with me on this, that more important than the expertise of the call is to know when to use it.
That's right. When to use it and when to stop.
Exactly right.
You don't want to overdo it. You know, listen to the turkeys, what they're doing, and kind of mimic what they're doing. If they're doing a lot of calling, you do a lot of calling. If it's not very much, don't do much. And a lot of times, just silence is the thing to do. If you make a call, I guarantee you that gobbler knows where you are. And if he's coming, he's going to come. And if he's not, probably he's not. So you need to get ahead of him.
Don't push him and run him off and spook. Once you spook him, it's going to be harder to get up next time.
You're right.
Ron, you've got a number of calls here, and you know they keep improving.
Yeah.
Turkey calls.
We've got just some basic calls here, and you know, we're talking about it's not that hard to do. You can get calls that are very simple to use, and I'll show you one here, a couple of them here. And just remember, I've heard turkeys called, real turkeys, that made the worst sounds you've ever heard.
I can out-yip any old hen I've ever seen, ever heard.
I'll show you.
I don't always get the turkey to come to me.
One of the easiest things to do if you're just getting into turkey hunting is just get a push button call. You just push a little button, and this one, just you pull on it. I mean, anybody can do that. And then, you know, the most popular call of all probably is a box call. And that's not hard to learn to use that. You just need to practice with it. And the slate call, where you just make little circles. It's not that hard to use. The one that's more difficult is this little thing. Now, you know my brother Roy, he every time he sticks one of these in his mouth, he chokes. And you know, so he can't use it, but it's really not that hard to use. You just stick it in your mouth.
And you're saying what now, Ronnie? Some people try to say one word, and some try to say another when they're using that.
I forgot the words, Roy. Anyway, you just chuck, 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 chuck. That's all there is to it. You don't have to, you know, you watch these TV shows and they do all this fancy calling. There's a difference between tournament calling and turkey calling for real turkey.
Sometimes I think they're fooling with pin turkey. I do it with my mouth. I just say, yeah.
Yeah, that'll work, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've used a philodendron leaf, you know, and that'll work. But
Old Mark Thomas.
Yeah. He used to keep a little old container full of them. But you can get a push button call. And it's not that hard. The main thing about turkey hunting now, besides knowing where you are and where the turkeys are, is to camouflage everything, your hands, your face, and if you see one, do not move. You will not believe how they can see. It's amazing. You blink your eye, buddy, they'll see you.
Don't move when he's looking at that old head.
You know, that turkey's he's like a mullet. Everything out there is trying to eat him, you know, and so he has to be super sharp to stay alive.
Ronnie, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, buddy.
And we're going to do it again, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
No one can seem to get Georgia to reveal her secret to catching those big redfish. So we've placed a series of hidden cameras on Stan and Georgia's boat to try to find out her secret.
Stan, this looks like a good spot right here.
So you think this is a spot?
I know it is.
Okay, well, I'll get the trolling motor ready and we'll get started.
There he is, Stan.
You never cease to amaze me, baby.
Stan stuff. It's good on everything.
Check all the stuff in your pantry. If you don't see any Stan stuff, it ain't complete.
Whether it's removing dangerous trees or planting new ones, Gulf Coast Tree Specialists can help you with all your tree care needs. Sometimes your tree problems are too big for you to handle. Even if it seems impossible to remove your tree, our licensed, bonded, and insured professionals can always find a way for a fair and reasonable price. We can also remove large and unusual items from your property. And our certified arborists can analyze root problems and evaluate structural issues. At Gulf Coast Tree Specialists, we would like to thank you for your continued support and service over the past 20 years and look forward to serving you in the future.
Panama City Gastroenterology specializes in colon cancer screening, gastroesophageal reflux disease, all aspects liver disease, and we do conduct clinical trials. We provide care in timely fashion using our extensive experience and are mindful of healthcare costs.
Folks, if you're 50 years old and haven't had a colonoscopy in the last 5 years, you need to give Doc a call.
For the latest medical news, join us today on Facebook. Panama City Gastroenterology.
Hi folks, I'm BJ with BJ's Marine. This has been a family-owned and operated business for over 20 years. We pride ourselves in the sales and service of Nissan and Tohatsu outboards. At BJ's, we have factory-trained and authorized technicians for Nissan and Tohatsu. We also repair most any make or model outboard. Call or come by BJ's Marine Service at 1317 Transmitter Road. And folks, we really do appreciate your business.
Looks like it's Jake's and Longbeard. I don't know whether they've made it or not. There ain't no hens with them. I know one thing, they sure are giving my corn a feed. That's a nice long beard right there. About a 10-inch beard, 11. Come on, boy, y'all leave a little bit of corn for the deer. Oh well, y'all just keep enjoying it. I don't believe I haven't got any horns either. That old turkey left a little bit of feed for the deer. No horn. I can go in the yard. That like there's something off out there that they don't like. And it may be an old buck right off out there. Maybe he'll walk up and let me see him a little bit.
Well, you guys sure can talk some turkey.
Well, we didn't have time. I appreciate Ronnie coming in, and he has whatever you need to go turkey hunting.
He does.
Sure,
I enjoy Ronnie. Oh, we want to remind folks, get your telephones ready because we do have 2 tickets to the Florida Sportsman Show, which is going to be today. This show is going to be today and then Sunday. So get your phones out and we will do a giveaway at the end of the show. And we've got our sweepstakes that we just drew for.
We got to draw for sweepstakes.
That's right. So we got that. If you want to enter the sweepstakes, though, what you want to do is you want to go to outdoors@captainroy.com. Make sure you put your telephone number down so we can call you and let you know that you won. Or if you don't have a computer, you can call
722-9382. And if you're watching us on YouTube, I'm getting a call from YouTube.
Yeah.
It's 722-9382.
That's right. So we can put it in the mail to you. And that would give you the excuse to come down and go fishing with Captain Roy if you win the fishing trip too.
And we just about do a call-in every Saturday, so you need to stay tuned to the last part of it. Have your cell phone ready, because we would probably be doing a call-in every week.
That's right.
Caps, stand stuff. Hey, I had some of this stand stuff seasoning. Yesterday, then my wife baked a hen. And
I put it on everything. Everything that I cook, just about, I use stand stuff.
I bet you I got one you haven't.
What's that?
You have this bread that they make garlic bread, you know, to go with meals. Put you some butter on there and just sprinkle some stand stuff on there for your garlic. And I did that, and that's good. I like my toast that way.
That sounds good. We've got to do our sweepstake giveaways, and we pre-drew on these. And the canoe trip for 2 people down Econfina Creek, donated by Canoe Livery, is going to be Janet Morris. So congratulations, Janet. This time of the year, you do have to call ahead and make reservations to be able to make the trip.
Jeanette, I believe that's Jeanette.
Jeanette, yeah, I'm sorry, I did say Janet.
Yeah, they're watching the show, so when you get ready to go, just call ahead and make your reservation. They've got your name, and that's all you have to do on the Canoe Liver now. Jody
Wells is going to be Jackie Watson. So congratulations, Jackie Watson. You get to go fishing with Jody Wells up at Lake Seminole.
Don't miss doing that, folks.
Yeah, and the lucky person to get to go fishing with Captain Roy, guaranteed to catch a lot of trout and have a great time, is going to be Gary Simmons Jr., and he's out at Panama City Beach. So congratulations, Jerry. And you get to go fishing with Captain Roy.
Guaranteed, just back up a little bit on that, folks. You're guaranteed to have a good time, and if we didn't get a bite, you still enjoy it. If you don't get a bite, you get to go again.
Yep. And on next week's show, now we're going to be out of the woods and back on the water again. You took a couple of nice fellows fishing.
Yes, I do. I got to get my films caught up, get all this hunting behind us and out of our system, and we'll be
get
fishing.
Back on the water. Get your telephones ready, and we're going to do a call-in for 2 tickets to the Florida Sportsman Show. And the Florida Sportsman Show is going to be today from 10 to 5 and Sunday from 10 to 4. So what you want to do is call 625-3273, and we'll get you 2 tickets to the Florida Sportsman Show over in Fort Walton.
Be sure to visit Cheryl. She'll be there in the paddle board.
Yeah, Dragonfly paddleboard, stand-up paddleboard. So come by and check them out. And also, Mark with DOA is going to be there. So please go by the booth and tell him thank you for sponsoring the show. We appreciate DOA.
And folks, we appreciate you watching the show. Be sure and tune us in again next week at the same time. And remember to always
try to be as good to him as he is to you.
Good day. Okay, folks, it's time to wrap it up and go to the barn.